Okay, so do you usually forget? I think that all of us has happened or have been through that at some time. Like when you forget your keys, or you don't know where did you left something, or do you like you? Well, sometimes it happens to me that I usually like go for something to look for something, and when I get there, I'm just like, what I was looking for. But yeah, so that kind of thing. But well, so I'm gonna talk about. Oh yeah, I remember. Sorry. Alzheimer. So Alzheimer disease cases are increasing by 9.4 million people per year. Okay. I'm going to talk about, first of all, definition of Alzheimer, then the causes of the disease, and the treatment and new trends and computational models that we are using in my faculty and back in Mexico, so I want to share this with you guys. Okay, what's Alzheimer? First of all, it's a progressive disease characterized by a degeneration of nerve cells and diminishing of brain mass. And it's related to elderly people, usually. So, there's two types of Alzheimer. There's the early onset and the late onset. The difference between these two is basically the early onset, it's like the symptoms appear usually before 60 years, when people are less than 60 years old. The second one is the least common because usually this illness is related to elderly people. And the last one is the early onset. It's usually, it is known that the causes are hereditary. And the late onset is the opposite. Like symptoms appear after 60, and most common, and the causes and the thing that we have to search for it is because the causes are unknown. So, as we can see here, there's a lot of types of dementia, but in the graph, in the pie graph, we can see that Alzheimer is the most common case of dementia. So this is why it's important for us to notice. Okay, this shows us like the incidence of cases that appear per year in all of the continents: America, Africa, Europe, Asia, and this is like a mean of the whole world. So as we can see, it's very important because the number of cases are increasing. So we have to find a cure because this illness is really, as the professor mentioned before, it's a really difficult for the families to handle and for the patient as well. Okay, some symptoms very quickly. Usually they're related as a problem speaking thing. They usually forget things, how to say things in their own language. Some changes of mood, like drastically. You can be very happy and then they're very sad or angry. So usually they have like this confusion things that they don't remember what they were going to do, or that they repeat things. They're very repetitive, or what they say just they can like repeat a whole sentence for an entire day, and it's like kind of awkward for the family because they are not used to that type of things, because they live with the people and they drastically change because of this disease. And the simple tasks, like sums and multiplications, they cannot do that. And as a result of this, they feel like kind of depressing sometimes because they think that people don't understand. They have social problems relating to even their family and their relatives. So, etiology. What's etiology? Is the possible causes and theories of the illness. And well, there's three known. The deficit of acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter. But the thing here is that the treatment has ineffectiveness. So that's the problem. The second cause is the accumulation of the protein amyloid beta, and it forms like this huge plaques on our brain. And the third one is the metabolic disorders that related, well, it refers about a certain protein that's called tau. But the thing here is that these new trendy metabolic disorders are related, especially with this new enzyme that it has been found by researchers that is called gamma secretase. This protein, it's related, or it is involved in this process of cutting and creating new proteins. That's called anabolism. That when you build new things, so this protein is usually associated when you try to build proteins. So usually it is classified. There's like 4 components, as we can see here. There's the NICA string, the Psi, PAN2, APH1, and the most important thing is these 2 domains here, the purple ones. That is the catalytic domain, and it's very, very important and crucial because this is a part of this whole enzyme that cuts the proteins for them to assemble and create a new protein. As we can see here, this is new, well, it's an easy way to see that. As we can see, this represents a protein. This is a protein in 3D, and this is an easier way to see that. Usually gamma secretase cuts this, but when this specific enzyme has its mutations, the cutting thing, it usually mistakes in, they usually cut like 50 amino acids, but if this particular enzyme has this mutation, the result of the pieces that it cuts will be in different sizes. And the important thing is that the last size of this protein is 42 amino acids. So this one is the one that forms the plaques and sticks in our brain and causes damage. So this is different types of view that we're designing. Well, the researchers in Mexico are designing like how to see and to understand in better ways this protein. We can see it here in 3 dimensions, and here's the different loops that we can see in the protein. Well, now I'm going to explain about the new trends and new treatments about how to, in order to develop new drugs for people that suffer this kind of illness, have a hope and recover themselves or be better or a quality life. So the first one is docking, which we usually do this with a certain system where we put like the receptor. This is the proteins. The curly things are proteins. This is the molecule, and as we can see here, it shows the interaction. The catalytic amino acids that I just mentioned before, you can see it here, that it's interacting. So the thing here is we want to make molecules that can interact as much amino acid as possible, so that the result of this treatment is effective. So as we can see here, this is another diagram where we can see how many amino acids are interacting. This is a new drug that's not in the market, and that's why it's called like this, MDL28, whatever. And we're like taking, based on this, synthesize them and prove them in cell lines and all that stuff. This is another one called DAPT. And as we can see here, this is crucial. The interaction with these two is crucial for the molecule to have an action in this patient. So this is the same model. And last, this is the compound E, which is the same thing I want to show you. Here we can see the receptor and how it interacts. For you to understand better, I'm gonna put you like a short video that actually my boyfriend made. He's studying his PhD, and he's actually working on Alzheimer with a great and brilliant doctor. So they're developing like new trends and how like to, because there's this thought about like testing on animals and all the people that are against it. So they're developing like new trends of computational systems and models, so we can reduce the number of rats that we can use, that we normally use in laboratories. So this is about the new trend, and I'm going to put you the video. So here's the receptor. It's slowly because it's a close-up, yeah. So this is a close-up to the main catalytic domain. And now it will show the compound. This is the main interaction that the compound usually makes with this receptor. And finally, this is the molecule that we can see here, the exact atoms that are interacting with the catalytic amino acids. And we can see different positions in which this certain molecule has this different positions in the receptor. So then we can like do this theories about whether to reduce this secondary effects, like searching this possible and different positions that this certain molecule has on the receptor. And last, sorry, it's quick. So I talked about today about Alzheimer's disease cases are increasing by 9.4 million people per year. So this is the biggest concern nowadays. I talked about the definition of the Alzheimer, the causes of the disease, and the treatment of new trends in computational models. And the last message I want to give you is there is always hope, and we're trying to make the best of our efforts to find a cure and make this kind of people that suffer from this disease to find a hope and get better so they can spend quality time with their families. Thank you.